Welcome to another episode of Business Beat with me, Odette. What a year it's been. We've had so many people right here on Business Beat talking about every aspect of business and entrepreneurship. Things we thought we knew and things we actually learned along the way as we got to know a little thing or two about some of our favorite personalities. Let's take a look.
Barbershops for me are community centers in their own right.
I think it was also perfect timing. We didn't dream about this.
In the advertising world, you have the creatives and you have the suits.
The Internet of Things is here.
Coding and robotics are not necessarily that far into the future, it's the here and now.
I draw most of my inspiration from my late mom.
There's such an array of culture on this continent, and I felt like I needed a way to sort of document it.
So 90% of the creative economy is made up of micro businesses.
And then people started having interest in like, hey, how much is it? That's when the shocker kicks in.
An interview that really stood out for me was with Goliath and Goliath, and I'm not talking about the comedians. I'm talking about Jason and Kate Goliath, the brother and sister duo who invested in a barbershop in a community in Johannesburg. Just when we thought we knew the funny guy, we actually got to see him in a serious light, talking about real business, the community that he intends to uplift, and why entrepreneurship is so important, not to mention why giving back to local communities when you are in business is a critical part of the business venture.
This specific barbershop has been running in the community for over 30 years, has been servicing the community, and we chatted to Auntie Delia about how do we then get involved? And now it's not about changing the whole world, it's about changing just the part of the world that you can connect to and then recreate that kind of community hub.
It's also if I can make a non-English word English, an unarrogant way to come into the community and come and help, and not have a big speaker and shout and say, we're doing a show for you guys and a once-off comedy show to raise funds. Once off, we know it's not sustainable, and so for us, it's a sustainable way to support the community and for the community to see and other people like us to see how easy it is to support your community in little ways.
We want one chair a month. In that chair, somebody from the community will come in and be trained to cut hair. At the end of that process, if they would like an opportunity to continue working in the shop, they are welcome to. But the purpose extends to be able to give them a business in a box. So imagine, your son is matriculated, he's in this area and there is no work. So now he's unemployed. We take care of him for a month, we teach him to cut hair, and at the end of that process, we give him a kit. Within that kit, he can go and cut hair anywhere he wants. So he's using the bathroom at home, the garage at home, the stoop at home. And now the little community that he has influence over, he goes, listen, I'm trained as a barber, I have all of the equipment, I can now use this skill that I've been provided with to cut hair and foster a business. So it's that old parable of, teach a man or give a man a fish, he eats tonight. Teach a man to fish, him and his family eat forever. And that's the idea behind it.
A huge surprise for me was Lesizwe. This young man is an old soul. He has such a maturity about him. He's been through the most, but he's also not just all the characters that you get to see on YouTube. He is a businessman with fingers in every possible pie across many industry sectors.
Above and beyond of content creating, being a social media enthusiast, I am a businessman. I've got different businesses I run, businesses I've inherited, and just in general, businesses that make me whole and make me feel happy.
What are your little nuggets for a small business owner or for an up-and-coming influencer who looks up to you and says, Jeebus, I want to be like Laz?
You need to evaluate your business. You need to evaluate how much credibility you have on your platform. And when I say credibility, I'm talking about your engagement, your following, how many people you reach, and your insights. Do you know your insights from the back of your head, And then from there, you need to then understand your market, understand the people that are following you. What are they following you for? Are they following for your life? Are they following you because of the things you do? Are they following, the relevance of it? It's still new, especially in Africa, South Africa. So people tend to believe, oh no, we're going to make a fortune out of it. It's not about the now, it's about the tomorrow, because trust you me, you will work with the biggest brands, but they'll tell you that this is the budget and this is how much it may be.
Yeah.
But it's up to you if you want to take the gig or of the deal.
What surprised me about Gloria and Sfiso is that design is everywhere. And design is an incorporation of all the South African cultures. We are a nation that is rich with culture, rich with color, rich with design and texture. They've leaned into that and brought some of that into the work that they create. And a lot of major corporates have bought into what they're doing. We're not talking designer wear, we're not talking designer shoes and handbags, we are talking about everyday things.
I usually start my design process with research. I read history books and I love watching documentaries.
A lady after my own heart.
Watching any documentary on ancient Africa, on ancient tribes, on ancient civilizations, that is a huge passion of mine, and that's where I get to see the different cultural motifs. I get to learn about where these people come from, who are they, what did they eat, what did they wear, what are these beads made of, So I grab inspiration even from African architecture, which is hardly ever touched on, but we actually had, African architecture. So
and a lot of people look at it and just see it as colors. They don't understand that everything represents something quite specific.
Exactly.
Yes. What is the one piece of advice you'd like to give corporate clients who are buying pieces of design?
Let's just build South Africa. I think I'm passionate about just this country going up because I feel like there's so much of great potential that's not being utilized, and I think corporate can play a big role in helping in that. If it works with the right people, and we have this one vision of we growing this country, we're getting our GDP up, we're creating jobs, and we're just taking it to the top. So I definitely think it's a tango, and corporate must just buy more local.
And then there's our very own African queen, Kim Kardashian of the continent, Kim Jade. Everybody knows her for Instagram, but what you don't always know is that she's a hustler, grinding the grind, producing, content creating, and building brands for herself and for other people. She's learned how to use social media and her audience to build a massive following, and in so doing, to build a pretty savvy content business.
What I did have was social media, and I bought a really good camera and taught myself how to edit, not only video but photos, and I utilized those tools to be able to market and advertise myself on social media.
So what you've just told me now is that you've streamlined your business.
100%.
And I see that you're taking what is usually TV content and you're putting it onto your digital platforms. And you're creating. So what are you exactly? What is your designation? Are you a content creator? Are you a creative director? Are you an influencer? What are you, Kim?
Like you, Queen Odette, I wear many, many hats, and I don't want to be put in a box. I like to think of myself as a creative.
If you weren't inspired every week by the people who are on this show, you've missed out on something fantastic. Because 2021 may have been filled with a lot of difficulties, but it was also filled with a lot of opportunities and a lot of people who are going out there and making things happen. I think if 2021 was the tip of the iceberg, 2022 will be fantastic, despite the challenges of a global pandemic, a recessed economy, unemployment, because at the end of it all, creativity and entrepreneurship will take us right into the future.